Hi, boys and girls. I'm so excited for our lesson today. It's been a while since I've seen you. So, today, before we get started, I want to talk to you about a word, and the word is opinion. Now, I want you to think for just a second, what is an opinion? We briefly talked about this in school before we had to be shut down and in quarantine. But we have talked about opinion before. So think about that word for just a second and see if you can come up with an idea. What does opinion mean? When you think you have an idea, put your hand on your head. I'm going to give you another few seconds. Okay, hopefully you have your hand on your head. Opinion, can someone tell us what does opinion mean? Okay, well, maybe I can't hear you. Maybe you could tell someone at your house that might be sitting near you, or maybe a stuffed animal or a pet. What is an opinion? Well, an opinion is how you feel about something or what you think about something. For example, my opinion would be that chocolate is the best candy ever made. Okay, anyone who's in my class knows Mrs. Latigo loves chocolate. Okay, now you might not agree with me. You might say, oh no, Miss Latigo, I would rather have Skittles or Starburst or maybe Sour Patch Kids or a sucker. Now, all those are tasty, I'll admit. However, my opinion is that chocolate is the best, number one candy in the whole world. But that's my opinion. That's how I think about it. So what I want you to do for just a second is think about your favorite TV show. Okay? Think for just a second. What is your favorite TV show? Okay? And I want you to tell someone, mom or dad, brother or sister, dog, cat, fish, hamster, stuffed animal, whoever's near you, tell them what is your favorite TV show. But then I want you to see if you can tell them why it's your favorite TV show. See if you can think of 2 reasons why it's your favorite. Why do you like this show better than this show? I'll give you a minute to share with someone. So go ahead. Maybe I'll hum the Jeopardy theme song. Just kidding. Okay. Not quite a minute, but hopefully you had a chance to tell someone who's listening what was your favorite TV show and be able to give a reason. Now, the important thing to remember with an opinion is you can think how you think about anything or feel what you feel about anything, but you often have to have a reason why. For me, when I said my favorite candy is chocolate, it's because it's so tasty. It's creamy. It makes me feel good inside when I eat it. Sometimes I just crave chocolate and I just can't get enough. So it makes me so happy when I eat it. It tastes delicious and all that good stuff. So when you share with someone else what your opinion is, you want to be able to tell them why you like that thing or that show or whatever it happens to be. Okay, so when you think about your opinion, there's no wrong answer really. It's just, what do you think about it? How do you feel about your favorite TV show? What do you think is the best candy? What do you think is the best vacation? What do you think is the best color? I mean, there's so many things you could have an opinion about. We're going to do a little exercise here where you're going to have to form an opinion, okay? So, first of all, if you are familiar with the story of the 3 little pigs, raise your hand. Okay, so maybe your hands are raised, maybe they're not. I don't know, I can't see you. But I'm going to assume that a lot of you raised your hands because a lot of you probably have heard the story of the 3 little pigs. I know I have, and I'm old. I heard it a long time ago. You know, the 3 little pigs. One builds his house out of straw, one builds his house out of sticks, and one builds his house out of bricks. We know that mean big bad wolf comes down, huffs and puffs and blows the house down and eats those little pigs in sequence from straw, from the stick house and to the brick house. Well, maybe he doesn't quite get the pig in the brick house, but you get the idea, okay? If you were the little pig telling the story, you would say, whoa, that wolf was so horrible. He blew my brother's house down who made his house out of straw and ate him up. He blew my brother's house down who made his house out of sticks and ate him up. And he tried to blow my house down that was made of bricks. That mean bad wolf, I don't like him one bit. Okay? Now, maybe that's how you feel about that story, the 3 little pigs. Well, what if I told you that maybe there was a reason why the wolf blew down those little pigs' houses? Could there be another reason? Maybe. I'm going to give you a chance to see if you could figure out why maybe the big bad wolf is not quite so big and bad after all, okay? I'm going to read to you one of my favorite stories. Now, you know I love to read stories to you. As you've known, most of the lessons I have shared with you from quarantine have been with books. But, you know, you can't go wrong with books, boys and girls. They're just the best. I love to tell stories and to teach with books. This is one of my favorites. This story is the true story of the Three Little Pigs, okay? This story was written by the wolf. He is telling us his version of the story. Okay, so keep in mind what we know about the Three Little Pigs. They said the wolf is big and bad. He says, wait just a minute, maybe not quite so much. So let's hear what happens in the true story of the Three Little Pigs. It was as told to John Chiezza, illustrated by Lane Smith. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story, because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. Remember, this is the wolf telling the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf, but you can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it is all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault that wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. I don't know about you, but I do love a good cheeseburger. But like I was saying, this whole big bad wolf thing, it's all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Let's see, what does the wolf have to say about this story? Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. He likes to bake. I've done a lot of baking during this quarantine too. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He built his whole house out of straw. I mean, can you believe it? Who in his right mind would build a house of straw? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. And I didn't really want to walk just into someone's house, so I called out, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. But that's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on while I huffed and I snuffed. What do you think's going to happen? Achoo! And I sneezed a great sneeze. Oh dear. Look what happened when he sneezed. And what do you know? That whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of that pile of straw was that first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. Now, it seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner laying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger laying there. If you saw a big cheeseburger laying, wouldn't you eat it right up? I don't know about you, but I might be tempted. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have any cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He built his house out of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house. Nobody answered. I called out, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. I wonder what the wolf is going to do next. Well, I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. Achoo! And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's fell house down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was the second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. What do you think the wolf is going to do now? A second little pig, dead as a doornail. Well, now, you know that food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, and my cold was feeling a little bit better. But I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He built his house of bricks. I knocked on the brick house, no answer. I called out, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker answered me? Get out of here, wolf, don't bother me again. Whoa, that was probably not the reply he was expecting. Talk about impolite! He probably had a whole sack full of sugar. And he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. Well, I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming back on again. I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then that third little pig yelled to me, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Oh dear. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I kind of get a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down the pig's door, and this whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. So what do you think the cops thought when they saw the wolf? The rest, as they say, is history. Notice the newspaper article, Big Bad Wolf. The wolf says, I'll huff and I'll puff. A.T. Wolf, big and bad. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzied up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down, and they made me the Big Bad Wolf. That's it, the real story. I was framed. The wolf said that the newspaper made him look like the bad guy. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? That is one of my favorite stories to read. I just think it's so funny. I love how the wolf tells the story. I love how he tells his side of the story. Now, if you remember before I started reading, we talked about the word opinion. And remember we said opinion means what do you think about something or feel about something? My opinion about candy might be different than yours. Your opinion about your favorite TV show, what's the best TV show, might be different than your mom or dad's or your brother or your sister's. Well, what I want you to do for today's assignment is I want you to think of who do you believe was telling the truth? The pigs? Was the wolf really trying to eat them and blow their house down? Was he really big and bad? Or do you believe the wolf? He said it was all an accident. He just wanted to borrow a cup of sugar, and he had a big bad cold that made him accidentally blow the house down. Now, if you believe the pigs, that's great. If you believe the wolf, that's great too. But here's what I want you to think. For your writing today, I want you to write who do you believe was telling the story and what's your opinion? My opinion is I think that pigs or the wolf was telling the truth. Because why? Okay, that's the tricky part. When you're telling your opinion, you need to be able to tell why you think that. I told you why I think chocolate is the best candy ever made. It makes me happy. It tastes delicious. It's creamy and yummy. Maybe you think something else did. Well, it's the same with the story. You can say you believe the pigs were telling the truth, or you can say, I believe the wolf was telling the truth. But why do you believe that? Why do you think that? I want you to see if you can come up with at least 2 reasons why. Okay, and if you're really feeling adventurous, maybe 3 reasons. But try and start with 2. So for your writing today, I want you to write, I think the pigs were telling the truth because why? What's your opinion? Why do you think the pigs were telling the truth about the big bad wolf? Or you could say, I think the wolf was telling the truth because why? Why do you think the wolf was telling the truth? Your opinion, it's not wrong. Your opinion can't be wrong because it's just what you think about something. You just want to be able to give a reason. That's all. So I want you to see, again, if you can think of at least 2 reasons why you believe either the pigs or the wolf. And I can't wait to see what you come up with. So, boys and girls, thank you for your attention today. I hope you enjoyed the story. I hope you understand a little bit more about what an opinion is. You're going to get a chance to practice that all week this week on writing things with your opinion. So today, just see if you can give me 2 reasons why you believe either the pigs or the wolf. I can't wait to see what you have to say. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for tuning in. All right? I miss you so much, boys and girls. Until I see you again, have a super day. Bye-bye.